Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, Corey McNeil, Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, and Ian Cassiola with Community Bulletin Board. Thank you for joining us. A banner hanging on the Bedford Street side of the United Church of Christ Congregation building was reported stolen this past weekend. The banner had been in place since mid-March. Reverend Angela Wells states that although the church doesn't know exactly when the banner was taken, they believe it had to be taken between the night of Saturday, June 18th and early morning of Sunday, June 19th. The thieves reportedly used a recycling barrel to climb up and cut down the banner. If anyone has any information regarding the banner, they are asked to contact the UCC offices at 781-272-4547. The Burlington Interfaith Clergy Council and State Representative Ken Gordon, along with residents of Burlington and local communities, gathered this past Father's Day, Sunday, on the Burlington Common for a vigil for the 49 victims of the tragic nightclub shooting in Orlando. BNews Cub reporter Brandon Gordon attended the vigil and has this report.
It was 1 week ago today that we awoke to the unbelievably tragic news of one of the deadliest massacres in our nation's history at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. 49 people killed, 53 people injured, senselessly gunned down in an act of terrorism, bigotry, and hate. We are all still in shock. We are all in mourning. We are all disgusted.
When tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side.
Today we share in their sorrow and concern. There is no place in our faith communities nor in our society for hate and vilification of any person or group of persons. All people are created in the image and likeness of God, blessed with the gift of human dignity that calls for our respect and love.
Here today, we're not born with attitudes of hate. We're not born. These things are learned, and it's a reminder to me looking out that we can do better. The loss has hit the LGBT community especially hard. And we know, as we have just heard, that this is a community that's one of the most discriminated and bullied in our nation. So when members of this community are threatened, we have heightened responsibility to take notice and to respond. In this country, all of us have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, no matter our race, our religion, national origin, physical challenges, or who we love. Because that pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness includes the right to feel safe and to live in peace.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
During the observance, the names of each victim was read aloud. The shooting resulted in 49 deaths and 53 injuries and was the deadliest mass terror shooting in American history. More and more people are being guided toward buying and eating locally sourced food. Sound nutritional advice that is sometimes easier said than done. BNews Director Richard Hosford attended a local cooking demonstration and met with a local cookbook author who shows us how we can make the best of our local produce.
So I'm starting with garlic. This is chopped garlic. And I'm going to go in sort of the order of operations of how quickly things will cook. So I'm going to put pine nuts, raisins, and a little bit of curry powder in the pan before I add the spinach. Now the garlic cooks.
It was a night of fresh ingredients, sizzling oils, and hot pans as the Grandview farm filled with the aroma of the cooking of a unique dish. The Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce's charitable foundation, People Helping People in Leahy Hospital Medical Center, hosted a presentation and cooking demonstration by chef and entrepreneur Julia Shanks titled 25 Tips for Going Local Without Going Crazy. She is also the co-author of the Farmers Market Cookbook, which features over 200 recipes ranging from traditional dishes to more innovative creations. I spoke to Julia after the demonstration about what she hopes participants took away from the event.
I'm hoping that people feel confident cooking with local produce, because I think a lot of times you go to the farmer's market and you're seeing things that you're just not familiar with. You get used to the supermarket standard. So when you go to the farmer's market or you subscribe to a CSA, it's not just radishes, but it's watermelon radishes, and it's not just salad greens, but it's, arugula and nasturtiums mixed in with greens. So I'm hoping that people learn how to cook with the more peculiar, unusual, unfamiliar items that come from the farmer's market that are just as delicious and more so than what they might get at the supermarket.
I asked Julia how she and her co-author, a former chef who started his own farm, started collaborating.
Well, after Brett and I worked together for, actually we only worked together for about 6 months, but we developed a lasting friendship that's already spanned 20 years. And it started out really helping his CSA subscribers get the most out of their shares. So I helped him on the cookbook that he had created for them. And then the cookbook just started taking a life on its own. We started creating cookbooks for other farmers to help with their CSAs. And then after doing 6 or 7 of those cookbooks, we had, a couple hundred recipes, and we put it all together and came up with this cookbook.
So what can people expect from the Farmers Market Cookbook?
Well, actually what makes this cookbook pretty unique is that we also have descriptions of all the produce, so not just, what's a tomato, but brandywine and pineapple and Aunt Ruby's German green. So we've got descriptions of all the different produce, and then we have storage tips on how to get the best life out of your produce. So how to store it, in the refrigerator or for the short term, and also for long-term storage if you want to can it or freeze it, how you can store the produce. And then obviously we've got about 300 recipes, and the recipes vary in style. There's some Asian, Latin, American, European, so we really span the globe. And that's the nice thing about having 2 authors with 2 very distinct personalities, is that the recipes really have different personalities to them.
Jane McKinich, Burlington's food pantry director and one of the event organizers, said the program was a good way to highlight locally grown food.
And it became a really nice way to advertise local food, provide an outlet where people could learn about, well, how can I get access to local food in Burlington? So we have information about the farmers market, CSA, as well as the community garden.
I asked Jane what she hoped to learn from the program.
Well, one of the things that I was really hoping to get out of this myself was, it can be a little bit overwhelming when you walk into a farmer's market, or if you are a CSA member, you open up that box and it's like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? How am I going to prepare it? How am I going to store it? And so I was really looking forward to hearing her 25 tips on what to do with local food. And I think that there was lots of great questions here tonight. So I think people were really paying attention and taking a lot out of it.
At Burlington's Grandview Farm, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
For those of you looking to buy and eat locally grown food right here in Burlington, the Burlington Recreation Department holds its weekly farmers market on the Burlington Common every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., now until October, so eat up. The Burlington High School sports season may be over, but this year's BHS has a player for the Red Devil history books. Girls tennis captain Ada Wiggins was not only a standout in the Middlesex League, but in the entire state. On top of winning the Division II singles title, Ms. Wiggins earned a host of accolades this season. BNews reporter Corey McNeil has more on Burlington's racket queen. Let's have a look.
So, for singles, we have Ada, and, she's, definitely the best player the school's ever had, boy or girl.
This season, Ada won her second Division II North singles title, went undefeated in Middlesex League play, and helped lead her Lady Devils to their 5th consecutive Freedom Division crown. I caught up with the tennis queen in the North and her coach to learn more.
Well, I think my dad was the first one in my family to play tennis, and he got my mom involved, and then my mom really liked it, so she signed me and my brother up for the youth tennis program during the summer through the rec department. And I think that's how it started. I don't even have memory of my first day playing tennis. That's how young I was.
Miss Wiggins shared how she felt about her high school experience.
I loved it. Actually, all 3 years that I played, I really enjoyed the team, just being with the girls and having a team, because tennis is such an individual sport usually, and to have teammates behind you, I think it really makes a difference. And I mean, it's important to have those friendships. just like as a person.
This year, Ada was also the captain of those teammates.
Like just hitting with them, and I know they're all capable of hitting with me, and they can learn a lot from me, and if I can help them, then that's just the more worthwhile.
Wiggins also told us about the match where she won the North against Concord Carlisle's Maggie Dorr.
That was really tough because I came out kind of slow, and I didn't have that much energy, and I was like, in the second set, it was really close, like 2-3, 4-3, and I didn't know if I could win the set. Like, it was, I wasn't really feeling confident, but like my teammates coming through, like cheering for me, and really that makes a huge difference for me. And I think winning that set and winning that match was really hard, especially because I had played like 2 other really close matches before that. And I was really tired. And my coach was just like, you have to convince yourself you're not tired. And then I really tried to do that, and it worked. So.
Are you going to redshirt Ada for a 5th year?
I would love to. I don't know for college we'll go for that, though.
Ada and Coach Sweeney shared these parting thoughts on the 2016 season.
Just with our team this year, it's just been probably, I've coached tennis now for 11, 12 years. I don't know the exact total. They all kind of blend in. Just overall from top to bottom, with Ada being a nationally ranked player and our 18th player in the team being a kid who's never played tennis before. It's just been the most fun year I've ever had. They all get along great. They're coming. They're working hard. You can just see the friendships, too. There's no drama of, this girl's playing. Why am I not playing? It's just been a fun group to coach. And I've had a blast.
Like, especially for 8th graders or any young people wanting to play tennis in high school, I would definitely recommend it, because I took a year off last year, and being able to compare has made me realize how important those friendships are, and tennis especially, because it's not a huge team like track. You get to really know your teammates really well and very personally, and I think those relationships are extremely rewarding. So I would recommend young people playing high school tennis.
Recently, Ada finished 2nd in the Division II state finals, and she will also be attending Skidmore College in the fall. From courtside at Rohannes Park, this is Corey McNeil. Back to you in the studio.
Congratulations, Ms. Wiggins, on joining the pantheon of Burlington sports heroes. It's quite an individual accomplishment. Island Creek Oyster Bar is coming to Burlington with a newly acquired liquor license that was unanimously approved by the Board of Selectmen on June 13th. The seafood restaurant is part of the revitalization of the district, formerly known as New England Executive Park. The liquor license was one of 3 voted for by town meeting 2 years ago, specifically for the district location. Island Creek Oyster Bar's Burlington endeavor follows the success of the restaurant's Kenmore Square location. The Boston store earned Best Seafood from Boston Magazine and the Improper Bostonian in 2010, and again in 2012 and 2013. Along with several other accolades, the eatery boasts being named one of Boston's best eats by the Travel Channel. Set to open later this year, the New York-based Bentel & Bentel will design the district location based on Duxbury Bay. The district is currently being redeveloped into a walkable urban-style destination with an array of amenities. Transportation for Burlington senior citizens is becoming more comfortable and modern. The town has accepted a new bus for the Council on Aging as part of an agreement with Millipore. Millipore is a global leader in the life sciences industry, headquartered in Germany. The new livery will be used to transport Burlington's elder and wiser to and from medical appointments, grocery shopping, and other activities. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris met with COA Director Marge McDonald and has more on the COA's brand spanking new senior van.
The Burlington Council on Aging has recently received a bus as a gift from Millipore, as part of an agreement with the town.
Millipore wanted to come into the town, and the town decided that they could, but they set some certain parameters.
The COA is very pleased with the gift. With the increase in the number of seniors in the town and an increase in the number of years people live, the Council on Aging has seen a slight increase in the number of folks utilizing the bus.
The van is equipped with 12 seats, a wheelchair lift, with 2 spots for wheelchairs, so we can carry 2 wheelchairs on the van. It also has an emergency exit, doors, and steps for people to walk up. So if you have a walker or a cane, you can still get up into the bus.
The bus provides medical transportation 5 days a week to Burlington.
We'll be using it to take people to medical appointments, bring them to the senior center for activities and lunches, as well as take them grocery shopping.
The COA gave her final thoughts on the devoted gift from Millipore.
I would just like to say thank you. We're going to get many years of good use out of it, and it is definitely needed in the town. Thank you.
From down here at the Senior Center, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
The opioid crisis throughout the nation and in Massachusetts is a spreading epidemic having a devastating effect on people of all ages. The group Burlington Parents Stand Together held a program on recognizing the dangers of opioid prescriptions and how legal drugs and illegal drugs can lead to overdoses and ultimately to heroin addictions. BNews Director Richard Hosford attended the forum and files this report.
Secondary prevention is preventing addiction. If it starts, how can we intervene quickly and get help for our kids immediately and prevent addiction? That's secondary.
Recently, a group of parents gathered at the Burlington Public Library to hear advice on a life or death issue. Burlington Parents Stand Together, a group of parents who decided they wanted to form a group to have a louder voice to get their message heard by the different departments in town, held a forum on opioid addiction. The program was hosted by Marilyn Belmonte, an advocate against drug and alcohol abuse and one of the co-founders of the group. I asked Marilyn what was the main message she hoped parents took away from the seminar.
Probably the biggest message, I would say, is having conversations with your children. And when I say children, I don't just mean teens, I don't just mean kids, even your young adult children. Having conversations regarding the difference between proper use of medications and misuse. Because a lot of young people, especially younger teens and children, they don't understand that medications, if misused, are extremely dangerous. They assume that when you're sick, you go to the doctor gives you medicine, you get better. So medicine is good for you. But they don't understand that if they take someone else's medicine or they increase the dose of their own medication, that can be extremely dangerous.
Marilyn talked at length about the pathway to addiction. She said that for many young people who don't go out seeking drugs, the way they get hooked is through pain medication prescriptions. An injury, say on a ball field, can eventually lead to addiction.
There were lots of studies and actually some articles. There was a 7-month investigation by Sports Illustrated. And they did a program saying that opioid prescriptions, basically, I don't remember the title now, but opioid prescriptions are turning our teen athletes into heroin users. And it really was an amazing thing to see. There have been a lot of things pointing to that now. We know that a lot of times our kids get injured with sports, and it's not just sports. I mean, it's also wisdom teeth removal, but they're being prescribed medications that are extremely highly addictive. Opioids are very addictive, and so as parents, we need to step back and say, well, do we really need that? I mean, maybe we could just try some Tylenol and ice and then see if we need that. But to just jump right away into opioids is something that parents need to intervene and be proactive and talk to the doctors about.
As the addiction grows, Marilyn said, more pills are needed to feed it. When that option is no longer viable, the next step is often heroin.
Because they're so highly addictive that by the time they're done with the prescription that the doctor has given them, they can be already addicted. And then they're looking for more. They have to find it somewhere because they're addicted. And then because the prescriptions are expensive, it leads later to heroin use, because heroin is basically the same thing to the brain. Brain does not know if it's getting Percocet or it's getting heroin. It has to have one of them. Give me something. And when you don't have enough money now for the pills, heroin is just dirt cheap in comparison. So,
Finally, if a parent suspects their child of being addicted to opioids, they need to try and get them help and always be prepared with a dosage of Narcan, the drug that stops an overdose.
If you know someone, love someone that has a substance use disorder, you really need to have Narcan. You can go to CVS or to the Harvard Pilgrim Pharmacy, and you don't need a doctor's prescription. You just go up to the pharmacist and say that you want Narcan, and they will give you a form to fill out, and you purchase it, or sometimes your insurance will cover it. A lot of them do. But regardless, you just have it. You have it with you, and it will save a life. It will. If someone is overdosed, it will pull them out of that overdose, and so that they can get treatment at that point.
At the Burlington Public Library, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
It is officially summer, with hopefully plenty of warm, sunny days ahead. For the latest on Burlington's atmospheric conditions, we go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in the BNews Weather Center with your forecast, followed by the community calendar from Ian Casiola.
Hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the upcoming period, and I'm just going to show you here. Starting off this coming Thursday, look at this, we're going to see temperatures again a little bit actually below average from what our average temperatures should be at this time of the year, and that's actually been something that's pretty much been par for the course for this month so far. As we look at the end of the period here, we see our average temperatures are getting up towards that 80-degree mark, so summer is definitely in full swing. As you can notice here, with the sunrise and sunset times, the days are at their absolute longest of the year now. So after this point, days start getting a little bit shorter, but we won't depress you at all today. We're not going to do that. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the period coming up. And I think for all of you that enjoy the sun and everything, you're really going to enjoy this. We're going to have a high pressure center situated southeast of New England. And usually in the summertime, what that means is a nice warm flow of air coming up from the south. And in fact, this weekend is going to be absolutely wall-to-wall sunshine with temperatures probably in the upper 80s to near 90. So if you have any plans to go to the beach or if you're going camping up north, it is going to be absolutely beautiful. And the only really sticking point is maybe by the end of the period, a cold front approaching with some showers and thunderstorms. But really, no cold air in sight, so that's very nice, and especially for a cool June that we've had so far. As we move ahead a little bit, I'm going to show you a little bit about an interesting thing that happened about 200 years ago at this time in New England. And what happened was, this is actually a picture of a mountain called Mount Tambora, which is in Indonesia. And why I'm bringing this up is, you can see the title here, The Year Without a Summer in 1816. There was actually an eruption from this volcano in 1815 that caused a global cooling of nearly 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit. And the largest effects from the climate and from this incident actually happened here in New England and in southeast Canada. And there was actually snow recorded in much of southern New England and also New York State as late as June 6th of that year. As you can see here, by the time July came of 1816, probably areas all around Burlington and certainly around southern New England, all of the crops had failed and the ground was frozen solid. So if you can believe it, we actually can get winter, and that was all caused by the ash that was blocking out the sunlight in the stratosphere from this volcano. But 200 years later, we have much nicer weather to concern ourselves with, nothing to worry about. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you this beautiful 7-day forecast coming up. This is something I think anybody who loves the warmth and the sun, you are going to love this. Look at this. Starting out Thursday, maybe some showers and a little bit cooler in the low 70s, but look at this, heating up into the mid to upper 80s by the weekend. The weekend's going to be beautiful. And again, we don't introduce the chance of rain and thunderstorms till the end of the period. So at least everybody will be at work. We won't have to worry about our days getting rained out. So I hope you enjoy all of this wonderful summer weather and take in all of that sunshine.
Hello and welcome to your community calendar. Parents, do your kids like to be read to? On Tuesday, June 28th at 10:30 a.m., the Barnes & Noble in Burlington is hosting a storytime event. Wanted, Ralphie Rabbit Book Burglar by Emily Mackenzie. In the book, Ralphie Rabbit's book obsession leads him into big trouble in this very amusing, beautifully illustrated story. But can anybody help him find a solution to his book addiction? Everyone is welcome to this event. This event is free. For more information, go to barnesandnoble.com or call 781-273-3871. Next, want to have a fun night with friends or family? On Tuesday, June 28th at 6:30 p.m., Stoney's Wicked Din will be performing at the Town Common as part of the summer concert series. Band members Steve Faria and Al Stone return with the Din to the bandstand they first played at more than 40-odd years ago. Stoney's Wicked Din plays an unusual variety of jazz, swing, soul, blues, R&B, Latin, and more. Everyone is welcomed to this event. This event is also free. For more information, visit www.burlington.org or call 781-270-1695. Finally, are you looking for some new recipes for the kids?
On Thursday,
June 30th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., the Burlington Public Library will be hosting Healthy Me. Miss Joanna will be hosting. Learn how to make healthy and delicious snacks for yourself. Registration is not required. Learn how to make healthy and delicious snacks for yourself. Registration is not required. This event is for kids in grades pre-K through 2. The event is free. For more info, visit www.burlingtonpubliclibrary.org or call 781-270-1690. This has been your community calendar. I'm Guian Cassiola. Back to you in the studio.
For close to 30 years, the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation has been providing Dollars for Scholars to Burlington High School students going on to higher education. However, not all money raised is awarded to aspiring teenagers. A portion of those Dollars for Scholars also goes to qualifying adults seeking to further their education and careers by earning degrees. The BCSF held a scholarship ceremony honoring adult scholarship recipients at King's on 3rd Avenue. BNEWS was on hand and spoke with some of those Burlington academic adults.
And we can't raise Dollars for Scholars without all of our volunteers at Burlington.
On Monday, June 13th, the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation hosted their annual Dollars for Scholar events at Kings Bowl on 3rd Ave. Scholarships were handed out to many young adult recipients. Jack Farron, president of BCSF, was there to present the evening awards.
So 2015 was a great year for the foundation. After 27 years, we have reached an estimated, since 1988, $8,965,000 in scholarships.
Jack gave us a brief rundown on the annual event.
Tonight is our annual appreciation night where we bring out the Adopt-A-Class partners, so that's grades K through 12. And it's also a way for us to thank the board members. They bring their significant other or a spouse to come in and say, thank you for letting us borrow your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife during the course of the year, and we have a little something to eat, and we do a little bit of bowling here at King's.
Jack gave us some details on the multiple awards given out over the course of the night.
We have a couple of other special awards that we like to give out for those that are in college, returning to college to finish a degree, or to begin a new degree. And we also have students that do not attend Burlington High School, but they're Burlington residents, who also receive Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation scholarships, so they'll be presented to tonight their scholarship award as they go on to college.
On the importance of scholarship night, Jack had this to say.
Every little bit helps. Every dollar helps a scholar. That's in my blood. I say that all the time. Every little bit helps. Maybe it's to buy a MacBook. Maybe it's to cover your expenses for the move-in. There's so many expenses with college today. We're just so happy to do it. When you see the smile on that face and that boy or girl, it just goes right through your skin. It's infectious.
From Kings Bowl on 3rd Ave, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Weekly.
Okay, and one final note for those of you who are birders out there. I saw something today that I haven't ever seen in my 55 years of watching birds. I was walking down the 3rd fairway in Stoneham when I spied 2 robins casually hunting worms in the middle of the fairway, not more than 15 feet from me, one of which was pure snow white. I'm not even sure that it's possible to have a snow white robin, but I sent the picture along to the Audubon Society, and I'm breathlessly awaiting their response. That's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Corey McNeil, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, and Ian Cassiola. Thank you for joining us.